and then India makes their face much proud in this sector as well. Thank you. So, Jay and Haritji, a common question to you both. Haritji has been involved in the trade for long. He's exposed to UK, to Korea, to Taiwan, to many more countries. He's a learned man, even by the textile industry also. And Jay, you are looking at somebody who would process the fabric better, who would maybe guide you what technology can we avail of. So how do you think that Haritji and his company can help Mira Cotton in achieving those particular standards? And maybe, like you said earlier, that you are not looking at the quantity only, you're looking at the quantity of a particular product with expertise. So, how can the two of you collaborate to gain that expertise and give that product, which is still now not available in general in big numbers with a good quality?
Sir, you know, people say that we should not import from China or we should stop importing and all those things. What I believe, if we stop importing, our development will stop. So we can learn from Harit new qualities, what are global players doing, what qualities are doing. In India, most of the importers right now, they're buying certain quality. They import new qualities, but they're developing these qualities with manufacturers like us. And then that's how we are developing. We're not market leaders, to be honest. Yeah. We are developing the qualities based on what, say, Taiwan is doing, or China is doing, or Japan has done in the past. So yes, to we can definitely learn about new qualities and technologies and processes and finishes from him, sir.
Correct.
Uh,
Something very important, Mr. Daga, Mr. Shah, is that technology is available in the world, and we need to identify, we, when I say we, I'm talking about India, okay? Not about Taiwan or everything. We as India. We as Indians and partners of the supply chain need to identify only three fabrics or three categories of fabrics that we need Indians to use in their athletic wear, in their outerwear. For example, all these years, you and I, we grew up wearing very heavy natural fiber to play games. There are beautiful yarns in polyesters and in nylons with spandex, for example, for both, for Mira Cotton's use in circular, for others whoever have been visiting here, for weaving. All these things, we as producers of fabrics, producers of yarns, need to identify. Number two, Mr. Daga, when an Indian mill wants to make this kind of a fabric, all they need to do is to send a small swatch of only 12 inches by 12 inches to people like Everest Haren, who will tell you what yarn is used in the manufacture of this fabric. We, of course, will like to sell you yarn and only then tell you how to make it, but it's normal. So
yes.
if you give us a piece of fabric, ask your yarn manufacturer, I want to make this fabric. Can you teach me? If the manufacturer says, yes, I can, he is the source of supply. Now, in the world, Mr. Daga, there are hundreds of yarn manufacturers, there are millions of mills. There is nobody unique. But the only thing that is unique is the human beings which are behind those mills, is how open they are to their business, how open they are to the genuine efforts of their customers. We, as Everest Haren, are here to stay, here to teach our fellow Indians to make for India, to sell fabric to Bangladesh, Myanmar, Indonesia. That is our goal because we are going to be weavers for the world. Just like China was the weavers for the world, we are weavers and a consumer market for the world. Like perhaps you must have read yesterday's Mint, Hindustan Times Mint. It says that the world is looking to sell to us. But we have to be one step more intelligent. Say, okay, you sell to us, but we will make it and sell it back to you. That is our game. And that is a very important part is yarn, dye stuff and chemicals, and manufacturing skill. Now, companies like Mira Cotton spend money on infrastructure, but what they would be happy to receive is a little bit new technology, just a little kick, and then they can run. Like we all play tennis or we play golf. It's just a technique barrier. We need a coach to tell us, hold it differently, swing differently, and that makes all the difference. So, Mr. Daga, as an industry, as Mr. Rana said, supply chains compete. And we as a nation have to get out of the mentality कि हम बनाएगा, हम किसी को नहीं बताएगा. Bullshit, man. Everybody will make everything. It's just a matter of time. There is nothing unique. But take advantage of the technologies of the world which are coming to you free of charge.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Harit. That was a good piece of advice for not just Jay, I would say, but a lot of more fabric and garment makers in India. But at the same time, fortunately, we are part of a panel and a session which is full of textile technologists. So, rather, I don't know who is available to talk at the moment, but I would like to invite Chachra ji to give us few inputs on what really TAI can contribute into the whole system and bring that change, not just by Taiwan, not just by Everest, but our own talent, which might have been learned from India or from across the world, and be that change maker, the catalyst for us. So, Chachra ji.
Yeah, thanks, Kishan. As a TI, I think we can play a big role to create a bridge between the technocrats or bringing the technocrat together who can specifically talk on this subject and bring the manufacturer also the awareness. In terms of technology, we have a lot of collections out overseas also. So we can get the experts from there also and they can help us how we can build up the products or what the new things we have to look into that. And Mr. Haran said it's only a mindset of the people who are managing the business over there. And if the mindset is perfect, if you are able to collaborate with the other people, then the success is more easier compared to doing the things in isolation. So collaborating, making a team of the people, TI can help that we can build up a group specifically who can work on in this direction and take the things forward, make it more successful at the earliest possible times. That I can say.
Thank you, Chacha ji. Thanks for that, I would say, clear commitment to make the things work for everybody in the industry. So, what I understand from the whole discussion, just to have a quick recap, that we have one brand and many more brands who are wanting to shift their base and source more from India, maybe for domestic market, maybe for international market. Secondly, we have people like Jay Shah and again many more such great entrepreneurs who invested into the scale and quality, but have to take few more steps into R&D, into alignment of international developments to make it work again for the brands like others what we talked about. We have people like Harit ji who's bringing the tech and the product to India as an easy starter. Because if we do our own R&D, own everything, will take long. I'm not saying we'll fail, but will take long. But why reinvent the wheel always when we have somebody who's done it and doing it regularly? And then we have, yeah, Jay, please.
If I can just address two, 3 points that Anil ji and Harit ji has raised. Sir, firstly, Anil ji, you mentioned that 80% of the business comes from unorganized retail. Sir, you are being very conservative. I believe that would be 90+%, I think. But having said that, that is true. That is us. That is not just the weakness. That is a strength also. Uh, like I said, it's more than scale. It's about product maturity. That can be done by practicing the product. Sir. So even into what we've noticed now is that even in 2 tier, 3 tier cities, the consumer is getting educated regarding things like quality issues like bariness. And earlier, everything wo 19-20 chalta hai, 18-20 chalta hai. That is no longer the case, sir. Regarding what you said about Bihar, sir, I think it is a great initiative because uh, what I've noticed is that every decade the industry shifts from country to country so far. Earlier it was in China, then it moved to say India, then it moved to Bangladesh and Vietnam and so forth. If we want to have this industry in India, this is a highly labor intensive industry. So we need to keep moving to cheaper places where the labor is cheap. So we need to probably earlier the way it was moving from country to country, we probably need to move it to from state to state to find cheaper labor. And probably like Sandeep ji said and Kishan ji said, Bihar seems the best option right now. uh, Regarding what Harit ji said, that we need to not just keep making, but share what we are making, how we are making. So we are very closely associated with Priora. Initially, a few years back, we used to save spandex like it is gold, and we used to keep it locked in my cabin and share it. Today, we are our consumption is over 120 tons monthly for spandex. Now, it's not just that we've grown. Overall, what when the technical team of Creora has issues with other manufacturers, they come to us to understand how to cater to those issues. So we are sharing those insights, how to use spandex, what are the issues that people face while knitting, because knitting is also very sensitive. Polyester knitting is highly sensitive. With spandex, it gets very sensitive. So it's all trial and error. It's all trial and error. So we are maturing, and that 80-90% of unorganized business is also required, because in order to serve Bliss Club, we need to first learn to serve these people and then move to Bliss Club. So what I always say, to in order to become extraordinary, you first need to become ordinary, sir. I'm done. Thank you.
That's great, Jay. That's great. And I would say very well summarized. Amazing on my behalf. Thanks a lot for that. That, yeah, Chachaji.
Just one thing, Kishan, when 3 days back, we were in a Hornstein conference there.
Yeah.
One thing which point I already raised there, and since now the industry people are present who are looking into penetration or expanding into domestic market. My idea is we always talk about the exports, look for certifications. We talk about Ocotex, GOTS, this and that. Is it the right time that we should focus making such branding in domestic markets also? Maybe we can use this international tax, or we can create our own tax within India. The awareness to the consumer is must now. If you really want to establish our products compared to the European or the Chinese product, we have to make something, as you said rightly, the ye sab chalta hai wala time abhi gaya. If you really want to establish your brands in India, you'll have to really look for the qualities which you are already supplying for the export. Why not that qualities can be in India with the awareness to the consumer and putting up the certification into that. This will create a market in India, awareness with the consumer, and a well establishment of the industry also. And it's a new activewear is a now growing industry. It's the right time, as per my thinking, that this step should be taken by industry so that the establishment gets very strong foundation over it.
So if I
Thank you.
understand correct, what we are talking is something like what food has got as FSSAI,
Yeah.
something of that standard for apparel, that it has cleared this particular certification and is good to use in any way.
Yes.
So that's a great input. And Ocotex is one part of it. It's only about health part, but as a confirmation to the quality, it's good to have some certification that is it performs like this, and we can go with that. So that's a great input. Thanks a lot, Chachaji.
Thank you.
And anybody else from the group who wants to give their inputs are more than welcome or talk or ask any questions to Jay, Anil, Haritji, Pondrik Saab, because these are normally for me, not the people who can be easily approached. So anybody has any questions, please. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Kamal Mishra. I'm not raising any questions, but I would just like to elaborate on what Vikas has so very correctly said, that we have been dependent only on the West for our certification. Why is it that we have the best spinners in the world today? We are making some of the best fabrics. Yes, the area that we lack in is finishing, which has been our Waterloo. But at the same time, why is it that we have to look for every certification towards the West? If we can do the best of the products here, why can't we have our own certification? And it is time that we stop mimicking only the West. Let us start excelling them. I think with that particular kind of a mind approach, we will be able to do much better because we, at this point, we are on a defensive. We say that the West does not accept this. Why doesn't it accept it? We have to fight it out. Maybe I'm talking out of the hat, but this is my thought. I thought I'll share it with you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Kamal. And that's a very valid thought. Although I would just have two inputs on that. The certification in the West are main focused to the environment they have there to kind of justify the use in that particular environment. And fortunately, India has all the environments, but in different sectors. A Kashmir can maybe justify a northern US, but if you're making something, testing something in South as just a thought, so we'll have to brainstorm further in making this a reality. But I'm 200% with you to make it a reality of certification from our country and not dependent on the Intertex who are not Indian, on the Bureau Veritas who are not Indian, on the SGS who are not Indian. Let's have the Nitra and Bitra take the owners, maybe, and take it as the international standard.
That's kitchen. We can. It's a really something which has created interest into the people. We can have a separate interaction discussions, and let's see if we can take the initiative and take it forward.
For
And
sure.
TI will be with you for this, all the support for making this happen. And I will be very happy, and all team of TAI Delhi will be very happy to collaborate with all the people to make this a reality into an Indian market. Let's work on that.
Thank you. And I would like to thank all our esteemed panelists, Jay, Anil, Haritji, Pondrik Saab, and thanks a lot to Vipula and Vandana for coordinating. Thanks to Vikas Chachaji for inviting us all onto the discussion panel and having us being heard by a lot of people across various part of the textile trade. And thanks a lot to TAI, who we have got now attached to, as I definitely believe they are the, I would say, I can't even say institution, but authority who gave us the actual tech to the entire textile trade and make us win. The way we are winning in other industries, textile has to be the new sun, which has to rise very fast now. So thanks a lot. Thank you. And from my side, I close the session. Over to you, Vipula and Vandana.
Thank you, sir. It was really very wonderful discussion we have today. And thank you to all panelists for sharing their experience and view with us. It was really very inspiring for all of us, especially youngsters and those who are interested to be entrepreneurs. Also, I would like to thank Kishan Daga sir for conducting this session so beautifully and smooth. Your suggestion will be surely helpful to all of us. And thank you for making this panel discussion successful. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Vandana. Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.